What is going on, fam? Yeah, no intro today, man. I kind of jumped the gun because I'm seeing all these messages up in here, man. I decided, you know what? We'll go ahead and start out early. I know there's been a change in time. I did tell everybody 8 p.m. Central Standard, and it's all good, man. I'm definitely going to cover them as soon as they come on as well. Shay Tree, she got the notification through the app. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Quicktown Dogos, what's up, family? Peace and blessings, bully fam. All right. What's up? What's good? We got Drippy65, Jesse Cloud in the house. What's up, man? Sid 1026, good evening. Goliath, let's go, fam. All right, man. We got SNK, XLBN. Hey, Raul, good evening and blessings to all the bully fam. Thanks for sharing all the insight and knowledge, man. Number love, man. I enjoy what I do. Blessings, dog loving fans. You got it. Maurice Humboldt. Look at that girl, man. Number love. Drippy. You up. Yeah, man. Let's just get it started, man. And I did say 8 p.m. Central Standard. So, but I'm seeing plenty of activity, man. I might as well get it started, get us going. What's up, bro? Happy to be here. Brahman Bull Bullies, man. Number love. Appreciate you, man. Respect. Hey, guys, I have a question for you guys. It's not going to be the main topic in today's live or anything like that, but it's definitely something we need to talk about, and that is YouTube's new vertical feature. For those of you that were able to catch me live, I was actually live, I want to say about, 7:20. So I was actually live close to 2 hours ago from the yard, showing you the dogs, the yard setup. Right now, we have females going in full-blown heat. And, man, what am I doing? I'm not out here with my handy-dandy hat. Let's do this, right? Tell you what, man, let's take it off just for today, man. So anyways, I got females going in full-blown heat, and so my yard is topsy-turvy. For those of you that have never had a female in heat, when a female goes in heat in your yard, I don't care what anybody tells you, it's gonna flip your entire yard around. Not just males. Females can actually since they're having, hormones being shifting and whatnot, they can get very irritable. And thus that irritability leads to possibly a fight. So if you have a female that's in full-blown heat and you know that she gets cranky or whatnot, it's always good to separate her and just let her go out on her own rather than, taking out the whole entire group and letting them out. Because if they decide to play and they decide to play with her and she's not in the mood, yeah, it could go the wrong way. Dios te bendiga, mi hermano. ¿Cuánto daría para que los videos después salgan en español, pero aún así los veo? José Ríos, después de un día puedes poner los videos y te dan subtítulos en español. Okay? G-Line, tune in at work on my forklift listening. G-Line Kennel. All right, man. That's dedication right there. And Sarata, I think it gave some of us notifications an hour early. It's quite possible. That the way I got it all set up, it's probably on Eastern Standard Time. And, that's fine. Any chance we're going to see Naheem Narrative come back? Sid 1026. Sid, right now, man, I'm the lone wolf. Man. I'm just holding it down. Right now, everything goes through cycles and through, if you're not ever changing, if you're not dynamic, I don't care what it is what you do in life, you will never succeed. You will never succeed because life is about constant change, and breeding definitely is about constant change, because breeding is about where you're at and where you want to get to. And we all know you just don't snap your fingers after one breeding and you're already there. It's going to take generations. It's going to take time. So let me give you a little bit of my background and my story. So let me get a little closer to the mic. So here, let me bring it up. Some. There you go. So, when I first started breeding, mind you, even today, the ABKC has not closed the stud books, meaning you could pretty much stud or pretty much breed to anything. And as long as they recognize it and give you a registration, it's an American Bully, right? I kind of feel like we're at that stage where maybe it's a good time to kind of close the stud books. I don't know, just me. But the reason I say all that is because when I first started out, some of my dogs definitely lacked breed type. And I didn't feel that it was necessarily at that time that I wanted to bring in breed type. You see, you have to understand the American Bully started out with pitties and staffies, right? That's what it started out with. You can't tell me, right? You can't tell me, looking at this boy right here, Shamrock, that came from a pit bull and a staffy, right? That neck bulge, that bull bulge, like I like to call it, that doesn't come from a staffy or a pitty. That comes from bulldog influence. So I decided, rather than going after breed type from the very beginning, to bypass that step and to concentrate more on functionality, structure, and temperament, functionality, and structure in that order. The reason I did it that way is because there's certain flaws that are attributed to each contributing breed, if you will, that has made up the American Bully. So let me give you an example. Traits typically such as an underbite, a kinked tail, cowhawks, and east-west up front typically is brought in by the bulldog, by the bulldog blood that was brought in. You have to understand that English bulldogs, for example, their COI, or their coefficient of inbreeding, or an indicator of how inbred they are, because what they do is they pretty much find out how many pairs are homozygotic or identical. And the more pairs like this you got, the more inbred your dog is, right? Typically, an English bulldog's COI is somewhere around 44. That's how inbred that blood has been throughout time. In addition, that breed has been around much longer than the American Bully, right? So in our case, we still have, components that were brought in. And if you go to Excel, you even have more of these components. And therefore, that has a tendency to push down the COI, or the coefficient of inbreeding, meaning that rather than you having 44% of your pairs like this, like English bulldogs do, I would dare to say that the American Bully average is somewhere around 12. So it's a lot lower, right? Because it is a composite breed. You're taking originally from pits, from staffies, you then got some bulldog, you threw that in, you cooked it a little bit, and that's how you're establishing the breed. And then you get amazing specimens such as this boy right here, Shamrock, and you're able to see the bulldog influence, in comparison to the original founding breeds, which were the pit bull and the staffy. So there's other flaws that actually go with those breeds, such as, and they love to call it lack of breed type, such as lighter bone, obviously, roachback. That could be attribute it quite a bit to pitties and staffies. Also, their stop is not at 90 degree, so it makes your dog lack breed type, as well as it doesn't have the protruding, not protruding, but the defined lower jaw or the muscular lower jaw like our bulls have, right? And then also it doesn't have the apple cheeks, the cheeks that come out. Unfortunately, terriers don't necessarily have that. And so that made my decision that much easier to not necessarily bring in breed type right off the bat, because I felt I wanted to get structure first, get structure on point, clear east-west, clear a high rear. I love perfect top lines, good rear angulation, so on and so forth. And now we're bringing in, right? So for example, this is my girl Cadabra, right? So now we're prepared to go ahead and bring in that bulldog influence, right? We feel that we have enough of correctness and structure that we've been working on for so long that now we can bring in more of the breed type and not necessarily be afraid that we're going to be overran with, bulldog flaws. In fact, we feel like we're going to be able to bring in more bulldog attributes and not necessarily so much of their flaws, if that makes any sense. Now, that was the route we took. There's many ways to skin a cat. You could do it many different ways. It's just the way we went about it, and it's been effective for us up to now. Let me see here. Says, sounds stressful over your way. He's cracking up. What up, Bully fam? Miss you guys together. Yeah, man. Yeah, I hear you, man. José Ríos, sí, lo he tratado de ver así, pero son muy rápidos los subtítulos. Pero nada, me encanta tu video. Gracias por lo que hace y que Dios siga bendiciéndote. Amén. José Ríos, ¿de dónde me estás escribiendo? Déjame saber. Martin Hernandez says, question for you, fam. At the start of the dam's heat cycle, after seeing the blood, of course, what day is the best day to do a progesterone test and an ideal perfect for an AI or TCI or surgical? Very good question. I'm trying to see if I could write this down on a piece of paper for you guys and show it to you, but you said question, but in reality, there's various questions you asked inside of that question. So let me start by saying this. Back in the days when we didn't have progesterone testing as accessible, breeders would normally count a certain amount of days from the day the female started bleeding, or they would continually look at the female's discharge until it went from red to straw color. Now, this is an empirical way to breed, meaning it is not an exact science. It is just something that is passed down, from previous breeders to others as to how to go about doing it. Was it effective? I would say it was if you were breeding for a while and you were getting the hang of that. Could it be more effective? I would say yes. And the reason I say yes is because now we have, here's my little orange machine. I don't know if I can, here you go. Here's my progesterone machine, right? Made in China. And with the progesterone machine, you get precision. You get a lot more precision as to what's going on. Because I can test my dog every day at the same time, and I can start charting the numbers. And what you're really looking for, before I give you numbers, what you're really looking for is that the spike, right? That everybody talks about, the spike. So when it comes to progesterone machines, you have various machines. You have the IDEX, you have the little Chinese machine I just showed you, and they all have different calibrations. Let me give you an example. On this machine, it recommends that you breed between 25 and 35. Those are the numbers it wants you to hit. But on the IDEX machine, it works totally different. The numbers are almost half of that. So with the IDEX machine, which is the most common one I find here in the States, usually when your female hits 5 on that IDEX machine, what it means is she has now began ovulating. Her progesterone levels have risen to the point where she's starting to release eggs. Okay, now don't get overly excited. It doesn't mean those eggs are ready to be inseminated, right? The eggs usually take about 48 hours because initially when they're released, they're immature. In about 48 hours, however, they ripen, right? And they're ready to be fertilized, okay? I say all that because I'm going to break down the book ideal numbers for regular, just regular natural breeding, AI breeding, and then TCI and artificial insemination. Their numbers are totally different for each thing that I'm about to talk about. So if you're doing natural breeding, meaning your female's receptive to the male, she lets the male mount her, he is able to go inside of her and they're able to lock, right? It's really important that they lock, right? If your dog's able to do that and the female is receptive, usually what I would recommend is probably start the breeding process the day after she hits 5. I know the eggs take about 48 hours to mature, but the reason I want you to start the day after on day 6, if you want to skip that day and start day 7, that's fine too. It's just that you want, or at least I want, viable mobile sperm in place when that egg is ready to go. I don't want to miss it because keep in mind, on a natural breeding, right, sperm has to travel. It's got to travel. And sometimes it can take up to a day to get where it needs to get to, right? So with that being said, usually when you see 5, wait about a day or two and just let your dog mount her every day until, the season passes. What number does it have to be for you to realize that the season has already passed for natural breeding? That number in the IDEX is usually around 18. 18 is the magic number because it means that the cervix shuts at 18. Once the cervix shuts at 18, sperm cannot naturally get through there. There's a physical barrier that sperm just cannot get through. So that's just the reality of it. However, for those of you that are going to be doing surgical inseminations or TCI, 18 is the magic ticket, because 18 is when all the females' eggs have been dropped and in theory, they're all ripened and ready to be inseminated. So a female between 5 and 18, there could be a lapse of 5 or even 6 days. Each day, she can drop, 1, 2, 3 eggs. Who knows? Nobody knows how many eggs are being dropped when. But within those 6 days, however many, or 5 days, however many eggs she's carrying, they're going to be dropped. So say she has 10 eggs, right? Irregardless, within those 5 days, 10 eggs will be dropped. She could drop 9 eggs the first day and 1 egg the last day. She could drop 3 the first day, 2 the next day, none the third day, and then the remaining on the fourth day. The way that she drops it, only she knows. Therefore, this is why it is important to me that you have sperm in place as soon as possible, as motile as possible. So when the egg ripens, it's already there. And like I said, if the female's receptive for the male, you can just have the male studying her over and over and over and over again, all the way until they get to her progesterone gets to 18, at which time her cervix closes and there's really nothing else you could do at that point. Now, these same numbers I mentioned hold true as well for regular artificial insemination. So if you have a device, which I happen to have a device that mimics the male's penis, okay? It even has the bulb glandis, which is the part of the male that actually, I want to say inflates with blood and locks into the female. And that's important because in the breeding process, if you notice, the bulb glandis will become enlarged and lock, and for 30 minutes, or somewhere there's about between 20 and 30 minutes. The reason the bulb glandis is there is so that none of the fluids can come right back out. When you're doing just a regular artificial insemination, if you're going to buy a device, I strongly recommend that you get one with a bulb glandis and that you inflate it once it's inside of the female so that it doesn't allow for the fluids to back up, okay? Because if you don't have the bulb glandis, then you're forced to lift them legs up in the air for a good, 5 minutes or so to make sure that the fluid is able, to help it get to where it needs to get to. Otherwise, if you just shoot it up there without the bulb glandis, there's nothing stopping it from coming right back out, okay? So like I said, for artificial insemination and TCI, transcervical insemination, the magic number, okay, on an IDEX machine is 18, okay? 18, that's the magic number. You want that cervix to close, right? And then you're either going to introduce the device that is going to go through the cervix and shoot the sperm in there, or you're going to do surgical where they're going to open each horn of the ovary and they're going to shoot up to 4 mLs, right? Depending how big your dog is. Caleb Weddle, what's up, fam, man? Appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining us. Reyes Kennel, what's up? Raul, what's up, man? Let me catch up. Just showing love, longtime follower. Appreciate all the gems. Definitely helpful with my Akita. Got it, man. You don't have to be breeding my breed. If you have medium-sized to large dogs, a lot of the information that we're throwing out here is transferable, right? Adam Field says go into king tail and why it is a bad trait. Okay, well, the king tail, it's the tail's part of the spine, guys. And we know that the spine, the eyes, the heart, and the kidneys are made in the mesoderm, right? And so, and that's just a developmental stage of the fetus, one of the first steps, actually. So whenever you see a dog with a kink tail, at least when I see a dog with a kink tail, it might as well have bad kidneys, or have a heart issue, or have eye issues, because the spine, the heart, the eyes, the kidneys, they're all made in that stage. So I've said this 100 times since I've been blue in the face, but basically the way it happens is you'll have older breeders that'll say, "Oh yeah, you can breed out a kink tail." They'll sell you a dog with a kink tail, and you're like, "What the heck?" And they're like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. You breed it right out." Here's the problem, guys. You may be trading that kink tail for some sort of eye issues, heart issues, or kidney issues, because it's really about where it's being made, right? So yeah, true enough, you may breed a dog with a king tail, and no pup is showing a king tail. But the you know, what did you trade that for? So that's really what I'm getting to. Answering Adam Fields. We got no says QBN Kennel. I don't think that's how breeding works. It's more like 20%. Okay, good for you. More like 10. Laugh out loud. Who's this guy? Says Derek. Oh man. Yeah, don't do that, bro. Chill right now. It's funny, man. It's all good, guys. It's all good. Who are you since you don't put your name like the rest of us? Yeah, you're asking the right questions, Derek. That's how it goes, man. But pay no attention. Martin Hernandez Jr. Let's let Raul set the record straight for this. I'm not sure what you're asking, Martin Hernandez. I'm trying to catch up on the comments. If you could ask the question directly, I will definitely answer it. Okay. J Tree, Raul, has anyone ever had you pick their puppy they're purchasing from you? Shay Tree, I don't know if you guys recall in this last litter, and we do it. We take pictures of our pups up on a stacking stance, on a stack board, and basically we do a front and a side stack. In addition, I've been watching these pups over time. We also take videos of them in movement, and what I do is I grade my puppies. Now, mind you, Shay, if you decide you want the little puppy over there because it's got a little ring around the eye and it's cute, well, that's your choice. You can do that. But each pup comes with a grade, and depending on what you're picking, what's available, you decide who you want to pick. So it's that simple. Nate G says Shamrock nice. Yeah, man, Shamrock. I mean, he's a grand champion for a reason, man. And I'm no one to say, what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it. I feel like this boy, so far in American Bully, in our short-lived American Bully history, right? ABKC was founded in 2004. So this year, at some point, it's going to hit the 20-year mark. This boy right here, I feel, is in the Mount Rushmore of American Bullies. Okay, not just because of the way he looks, the way he has produced. I mean, this dude, I remember a time where it was just shamrock litter after shamrock litter. And can you blame him? Can you blame them? I mean, he's just an amazing looking boy. Catchguard TV, salute fam. Are you still feeding raw to pregnant females? Catchguard, you know what? I tried it already in one of my litters. But what I've also been not practicing, what I've also been trying out, if that's the best way to say it, is I'm actually cooking food. And this last litter, I did it for the pups the last 2 weeks. And I saw some good reasons why to do it that way. And so I think going forward, I have nothing against feeding raw to a female that's pregnant, but I think more likely than not, I'm going to cook, if that makes any sense. That's probably the route I'm going to go. Jose Rios de Puerto Rico. Number love, man. Number love. We got Scott Hinkelman. I have a question. Have you had any of your bullies become service dogs for disabled veterans? I have not. I will say that I am a disabled veteran myself, and I have been trying to get in contact with the VA department that deals with that, because I would love nothing more than to start breeding dogs in particular for that. I make no bones about it. For me personally, when I'm out there with my dogs, it's therapy for me. It really is. I'll go out there. You could hear the wind hitting the trees, and the dogs are just doing their thing. And I'm just sitting there watching them. I'll sit on one of the mounds. At first, they're all going to jump on me and lick me and want my attention and whatnot. But after about 5 or 10 minutes, they're all going to go do their own thing. And I think maybe when they start doing their own thing, I become like camouflage. It's almost like I'm not there. And for me, it's like therapy. So excellent question, Scott Henkelman. If you are a veteran and you're watching us and you want one of our dogs to be your service dog, go ahead and contact us. Download our QBN app. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you and, help you out in every which way that I can. All right. Kyle or somebody on top of it tonight, cracking up. Yeah, man. KS Kramer, do you know where to find any pictures of Shamrock as a pup? Yeah, go to the breeder. You're going to have to find a breeder and talk to him directly. I don't have that. Said 1026, what causes a female to have a split heat? Is it nutritional or environmental, or do you believe it's something else? Sid 1026, it could be all of the above. It could be none of them. I feel that when a female split heats, it's because something is up hormonally. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be hormonally. The other reason that a female could split heat is if they have an ovarian cyst. Okay, that can also cause split heats. But from my experience, we had a female here named Latessa. She was a she-male, or she's a she-male. I was feeding her Victor puppy, just like I was feeding the rest of my dogs, the teal bag. And out of nowhere, for 2.5 years, she decided she wasn't going to get pregnant. I took her off of kibble. I put her on raw. Lo and behold, she came in. However, I must be fair, and I must say this. Luckily, I had my progesterone machine, and we tested her from the first moment she bled. First day she bled, she was already at a 4. This is why I don't do the counting. Oh, you got to wait 13 days and then you breed. All that. That's all empirical. What happens when you have a female like Latessa that has given me split heats? And luckily for me, I went ahead and tested her. She was already at a 4. Literally, we bred her 4 days later, right? And she took, and she had a big litter, and we turned around again the following cycle. We bred her again, and she took again, right? So that's why it's important that you test, guys, because if you follow empirically, oh, you got to wait 10 days, you're going to pass your window, right? So can a male dog have issues if he never gets to breed? That's a good question, man. I want to say yes. Why do I want to say yes? Because it is natural for dogs to breed. So if you take something that is natural away from them, then you're going to get an unnatural response, whatever that may be. You may want to hump on your leg or I don't know, whatever the case may be. I want to say that is a natural response for males. I will also tell you guys something, right? For those of you that like to stud your males and whatnot, for example, now that my females are in heat, all right, I am collecting my males every other day. And I'm doing this on purpose. You see, sperm is made and lives in the dog's testes, obviously, for just over 60 days. Let's call it 65, just to throw a number. What ends up happening is if somebody calls you up and you haven't collected your dog for a long time and you got to send sperm somewhere, well, guess what's coming out? What's coming out is all this old sperm that's about to die within the next week or so. And you're only getting about 15 minutes worth of motility. So if you put it under a microscope, you're going to see it wiggling. Walk away, come back in 15 minutes, and you're going to see this right here. And if you see this here, they're not fertilizing anything. So the way you get around that is I recommend, if you're studying males, to collect your males minimum once a week, if you can, right? Minimum. Just to clear the older sperm that's there in storage and have it ready. Because if you don't collect it for, say, 2 or 3 months, and then you collect it so you could ship, it's going to look good on your microscope. It's going to look horrible when it gets over there. All right. Derek says, when your female's feeding the pups, within the first few weeks, how do you increase feeding? Especially talking about raw. Does it take a lot out of the females, all the feeding? Yes, it does. I would say I increase my females feeding, obviously, when they're pregnant. But after they give birth, what I normally see is immediately after they give birth, they're not going to want to eat for the first 2 or 3 days, right? And then out of the blue, they want to eat everything. And that's because their body has switched to producing milk. Milk production could drain a female from nutrients, in particular minerals. Therefore, that's the main reason why, we recommend Nuvet NuJoint DS. I know it says NuJoint Plus is NuJoint DS double strength. And that's so that when her body goes to her body to seek for nutrients and stuff, you're not going to have anything missing. If you come out here and you're feeding your dog kibble, kibble is cooked at high temperatures. So a lot of the stuff that, are vitamins and minerals, they may get denatured. You don't have that problem with Nuvet or NuJoint DS, guys, because it is cold pressed, not cooked. Not only that, this is human food grade. It's not meant for humans to eat. Okay, but if you did eat it, it ain't gonna kill you because it's made at human food grade. Whereas, like for example, kibble, if I understand this correctly, it is made at feed grade, right? There's a big difference. When it's human food grade, for example, if there's a sick cow, you cannot kill that cow and chop it up to sell it at a human market. But you can definitely chop it up and sell it at feed grade market. So that's what, our animals are going to be eating as far as kibble's concerned. This is why I'm such a proponent of raw, because when you go to Walmart like I do, and I buy a 10-pound bag of chicken quarters, I know exactly what my dog is eating. And guess what? They're going to eat everything, including the bone when it's raw, right? And the bone marrow that's in there. And they got cartilage in there, and they got ligaments, and they got meat. They got everything they need, nicely packaged in a little chicken quarter. So chicken quarters, Nuvet NuJoint DS is my go-to. Of course, we also add vegetables. My go-to is carrots and green beans. That's just automatic pilots, the ones that my dogs love the most. Let me catch up here. Is it safe to give a female vaccines when she's in heat and you plan to breed her? Let me just say this. I have always bypassed my females' rabies vaccines when they're pregnant and or whelping a litter. I take puppies away from the female at day 24. Once I do that, then she can take her shot, right? But before that, we're not going that route. I'm just not. I'm not. What's going on, fam? Yeah, what's up? You got it. Rick Rock, I got pregnant standing on my head. Man, I'm not even going to respond to that. That's a funny comment. Miss Beth B says, you started early. I was watching your other videos, laugh out loud. No, but love, nothing wrong with that. I did say 8 p.m. But I came in here and I saw a bunch of people talking and whatnot. I know there's been a time change, and I said, you know what? Let me just jump in there and let me just interact. Mo3 Kennel says, love your vids, fam. Keep giving us knowledge on these bulls so the world can build, breed, better dog, drive the bully. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I just share my journey, and I feel that everybody should too, one way or another. And I feel cumulatively we can all shift the perception of our breed, away from, governments such as, the UK and things like that. We could also demand things together, like maybe we can close the stud books. That'd be pretty nice, rather than, keep them open and just as recent as today in the morning, I actually saw somebody comment that he's going to breed a pit with an American bully because he wants to start his own line. And, as a breeder, at least respectable breeders are going to be like, dude, like, we already been through that. We're now at a point where we're bringing in, that bulldog blood and putting it all together. However, stud books are not closed. You can't stop it, right? If they were closed and you're over here breeding to a pit bull, then they're just not going to register it, and that's the end of that. Drippy says, what do you use to sanitize your yard to prevent and protect against parvo and other viruses? Excellent question, Drippy. By the way, all of my dogs are getting the parvo shot and corona shot, DHPP, right off the bat. But what I do now, having me being a nurse and having worked in hospitals, we understand a lot as far as what we clean with in a hospital in order to reduce the spread of germs and or viruses and whatnot. So let me give you an example. In a hospital, if blood were to drop, you use a 10-to-1 bleach and water solution to be able to clean that, right? So it's really 9 parts water and 1 part bleach, right? And you're able to clean that. And that's for the floors, right? We actually up that concentration just a smidgen to 20%. We don't want to go above that because we feel it's too strong. I don't know if you've seen in our videos, bleach can kill dogs, makes them anemic, can even give them bone cancer. So like if you have a pool, like their bully oasis, for example, we use alternative chemicals rather than bleach to keep it sanitized, because if it was bleach and they're drinking that water, then, I'm just setting up my dogs for failure, right? So excellent question. Yeah, we normally do about 20%. So the way we do it is 8 parts water, 2 parts bleach, right? And, we'll do 1 cleaning day. Right now, because it's winter, we get a full-blown cleaning day once every 2 weeks. Typically, when we get to the summer months, we're doing it weekly for obvious reasons. Germs and viruses and whatnot. They're able to multiply and live better when it's warm. And we pretty much spray everything down with that, and then we let it dry before we let the dogs back in, like dry fully. So if we're going to do cleaning, say at 8 in the morning, they're probably not going to get back into their cages sometime around 11 or 12. I want it to be as dry as possible. I don't want them licking anything or anything like that, because it could harm them. All right. Derek Hall says Shamrock is a definition of breed type. Absolutely, bro. I mean, there's nothing to question when you see the breed type that this boy brings to the table. Like I said earlier, I think he belongs in the Mount Rushmore of American bullies. As far as American bully history, to me at least right now, he's definitely a legend. He will be forever a legend. And it feels, what about the purple ice litter? Purple ice. What about it, man? Purple ice litter. Let me look at that, bro. I came live here and I did not send myself pictures of the updated litters. let me go ahead and do that right now, since you're asking about it. Purple Ice consists of our girl Athena and Dooley, Grand Champion Dooley. My apologies. Which, it's another dog that holds tremendous breed type, and we're excited to make these breedings happen, and we're excited what each one of these males is bringing. We were actually gonna spread it amongst three different grand champions, but I decided I want to go ahead and do three breedings with Shamrock right now and knock them out, so that then when I see what's there, what's born, I could then make a call as to what comes up next. Sometimes you can get overly anxious, and you could actually make yourself work twice as hard. What I mean by that is, if I go ahead and say I breed three different grand champions, I'm not able per se to have a clear barometer for any one of them, because at that point, the pups that I'll be keeping from the three are just competing with each other. Whereas if I'm breeding Shamrock like I am to, this girl Cadabra and to Mocha and to Cafe, now I am seeing a clear barometer as to what Shamrock's blood is doing with our blood, if that makes any sense. I could have definitely put up three different grand champions, and people would have been super excited for that. But at the end of the day, you also got to realize what it is that you're doing and what's going to be better for your yard. I felt that I would get a better, clear understanding as to, what my yard and what Shamrock bring as far as breed type and attributes, along with the size. Make no mistake about it, guys. We're trying to make Shamrock bigger. There's no if and it's or buts about it. We're trying to bring the breed type to the XL. That's what's being done. ABKC wants XLs to look more like this, right? And so, in order to be able to do that, I've always said you need to come back to that standard or that classic. We've already gone to Fireball. Fireball's still waiting in the wings. In fact, I think Fireball's going to have a breeding more likely than not with our girl Daisy Duke, because I feel that the males that we have are just too big for her. A little too big for her. I was envisioning Macho going into her, but it's just too much of a size disparity, and you're just going to get some seriously wonky dogs. The last thing you want is a dog with an XL rear and a pocket front, and then it looks like one of them funny cars. So that it's a guessing game. It's I tell people breeding is a lot like Tetris. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find these banners for you guys. I'm trying to find the Purple Ice banner, and it almost seems like I either moved it or did something with it. I don't have it. So if you see me looking down, I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm just flipping through my phone here, trying to find that Purple Ice litter. And every time I flip, I get the feeling like it's coming right up, and then it's not. But anyways, breeding is nothing more than putting puzzle pieces together, and so you can try and get what it is that you're looking for. Tony's Detail says, I've got a female Merle Pocket Bully. Any tips on breeding in an apartment setting, or do you not recommend it? She's got cherry eye as well. Will that affect the breeding? Again, cherry eye is something that you mostly get from bulldog traits. And we know the shorter you go, like Pockets, for example, the more bulldog traits you're going to have than, say, the American Bully XL, right? Each class has a different, I want to say, a somewhat different formula. And yeah, you can definitely do it out of an apartment. Is it ideal? It is not. Um, but then again, they usually don't drop too many pups, and they're tiny to begin with. Um, I would just make sure, if you can, to have a dedicated room for her where she has the whelping box. And also, I would limit access to who's coming to the home. If the apartment is small or whatnot, people, are sick or they have a cold or whatever, you don't want them near your pups. They could get them sick as well. Um, but outside of that, man, the process is pretty much the same. Except you're probably going to be cleaning a lot more poop than, say, somebody that has a yard. That's about it, man. Love Shamrock. We have a grandson, legendary lineage kennels. All right, man. Nice to see you back, Raul Senor G. All right, man. Rick Rock. Hey, man, dogs are therapeutic. I have to agree with that. Delvin Ayala. Hey, man, I have a blue tri. He has bumps with pus on his tail. I've tried new stock and coconut oil. It doesn't work. Have you dealt with this? Well, new stock is just going to make hair grow because it's got sulfur in it. Coconut oil does have passive antimicrobial properties, but it's not going to be your most powerful. And obviously, if you got pus coming out of it, he's got an infection there. I want to say go to your vet so you can get some antibiotics. Possibly triple antibiotic is what you're going to have to put on there, but don't put it on there until you talk to a vet first. I don't know what's going on. Scott Henkelman, Javelin is who I have been getting my service dog training for my bully currently. Javelin. Good. The prosthetics department at the VA is who handles the service dogs. Yes. I have called them. I've left them messages. I don't know. Man, look, I don't want to take a shot at the VA. I love the VA. I'm a veteran myself, but they don't have their stuff together, man. Each VA department or whatnot just does things a little bit differently. I could tell you, like the Houston VA is overran, and I'm not sure if their department even gets to my messages, man. But those are the people that I've been trying to get in contact with because I feel that, my dogs have the temperament to be good service dogs. I will definitely get a hold of them. Scott Henkelman, if you do me a favor and download QBN app and go ahead and shoot me a text, let me know who you are. I'd definitely love to be in communication with you because it's a thing for me to be able to give back to my veterans, man. It really is. What about a prolonged heat? Adam Fields. Adam, I have seen prolonged heats, man. Remember that girl, Latessa, I was talking to you about? Yeah. She actually was in heat for like a month and a half before she started bleeding, bro. Month and a half, full blown, swollen in the cooter, dogs up and licking, wanting to fight each other to breed with her, the whole nine. And the only thing I could think of as to why this happened to her is the fact that I had other females coming in heat. Right now, for example, Daisy Duke triggered Cadabra to go in heat. I could tell you Mocha is sniffing everywhere Daisy Duke is peeing, so I know any minute now she's going to go into a full-blown heat. She's usually about 10 days behind Cadabra. That's, again, it all comes down to hormones. So it was asked earlier, would stress, for example, affect the split heat? It can. It all comes from the pineal gland, and then there's a chain reaction all the way down, right? How much sun they're getting. Is their facility too cold where it stresses them out, or too hot where, their body's like, screw this. This is not a good environment to have a pup in. those things need to be taken into consideration, as well as other dogs that may be stressing the female out. I used to have a female here that would just sit there and bark all day, just bark at another dog all day. So I had to move her. It was not a healthy situation for her or for any dog she was next to. Jesse Cloud says, where do you recommend going to embark on a DNA test for a dog? Jesse, I do everything online, bud. Embark usually costs $150. I do know that the first embark you do, you get a $50 discount from them. Only comes out to about 99 bucks. And you order the kit online. Usually gets here within a week. As soon as you get it, you just swab it. Literally takes you less than 2 minutes to do the entire process, and then just go and drop it off at the mail. And it's very effective. Right now, I was looking at my Embark account. I believe we have over 60 dogs that have been embarked. We're at a point now where we're embarking every single puppy. We started out just embarking Merle puppies that were in a Merle litter. Don't get me wrong, they need to be embarked as well. But we just decided, you know what? Let's just embark la-di-da-di everybody. The parents, the pups, everybody. We have nothing to hide. Not only that, we feel it's the right thing to do. It's the responsible thing to do. It's the ethical thing to do. If you're going to be out here breeding, why would you want to be breeding a sick dog? If you're, charging $6,000 for a stud and, your dog is not embarked, you're going to lie to these newbies that your dog's not embarked. I know your dog is embarked. You know your dog is embarked. You just don't want people to know the results because you're breeding a sick dog. Right. So, yeah, man, I strongly suggest, especially for new breeders, to get in the habit of doing genetic testing and then, show it off for the world. It's marketing. It's marketing. Infamous. Hey, Raul, just testing if you see this one now. Infamous. I do, man. Infamous was telling me that his comments weren't coming in, but they're coming in now. So whatever it is, maybe you switched accounts, man. Jay Gutter says, so kibble isn't good for my pup? I don't think so, but that's the choice you're going to have to make. Rather than just going off what I tell you, you can check out our videos as to, diets and feeding and whatnot. You're going to get more insight, and you're going to know exactly what to feed your pup and how to do the transition. So make sure to check them out, man. Kyle likes it. Adam Fields cracking up. I was Arthea Mohammed. I was given a bully born with a bobtail. The only problem is he has now is seasonal allergies, Memphis weather. Should I get him tested for any of the, other issues that he may have that you mentioned? Yeah, absolutely. Bobtail, 9 times out of 10, that's coming from the bulldog side. All that inbreeding. Like, you can see it in French bulldogs too. You can see it in pugs. Are notorious for that. I've seen some Frenchies that don't even have a tail. They lost a tail altogether. Yeah, that's definitely a bulldog trait. José Ríos, yo las tengo esas vitaminas gracias a tu video. Gracias, hermano. Sí, vas a ver que es muy efectiva para los perros. Brayman Bull Bully says, how many days do females usually flag once they start flagging? Bull Bullies, here's the thing, man. This is why I tell people, do not try to do empirical breeding, because this is the fastest way for you to either miss on a breeding or, just whiff completely. And that's because, man, I've seen females turn the tail and they're still bleeding. And you're like, how the heck did this happen? Well, you got to also realize, I have various females. So I could have a female that just gave birth. Case in point, my girl Chanel, she just gave birth to one of our most recent litters. And once I took the pups off of her at day 24 and I moved her back to the kennel area, literally about a month and a half later, she was in full-blown heat. Or at least that's what it looked like. All right. She never bled. She was swollen again. And she was going through the whole thing again. And what it was is I had one of the rescue dogs that I brought. She was in full-blown heat, and she might have triggered her because whenever they pee, they leave estrogen They leave progesterone, they leave all these hormones whenever they urinate. It comes out, and when the other female smells it, it kind of starts triggering them, right? Because out in the wild, right, wolves, the only two that truly mate is the alpha male and the alpha female. All the beta females around that alpha female, they're there to be a surrogate mother to those pups. So they will go into a false pregnancy, right? Because they're smelling every time that alpha female pees. She's letting out all this estrogen and progesterone and all that. So it triggers all these other females to go into a false pregnancy. Man, they even have milk. They even produce milk. You would swear that they're pregnant, but they're not. They're there to make sure that those puppies survive. Anything happens to that alpha female, those puppies are going to have 3-4 other females that have milk and that would tend to them like their surrogate mothers that they are. So, that also translates. If she's the only female in the house versus if you have various females, the answer is going to be variable. SK Audio says, what's good, Raul? This is a different time of live. It's 1 a.m. here in the UK. Yeah, we're doing this on Thursdays, man. We're just trying it out, man. Goliath says, Roxy looks like a handful. Is she the alpha of the litter? I will say Roxy is not the alpha of the litter. She's just a puppy. But I will say Roxy has alpha traits. Roxy, you notice, I guess you guys couldn't see it because you only saw that one white dog that we rescued there in the short video. But honestly, the rest of the pack was somewhere else, and she could care less what the pack was doing. She was going to go after the food, right? And that's definitely an alpha trait because she showed independence. She showed, she had to jump through a little gate, which is no big deal, but no other puppy was doing that. And then when she's not able to eat because she can't pull the chicken quarters out or anything. But once I bring her out from there or whatever, she'll go and interact with the pack a little bit here and there. But, Roxy doesn't follow anybody. Roxy does her own little thing. The only dog she truly follows is Aruba. She only follows her when it's time to go back in the cage because, that's her surrogate mom. Adam Fields says, bleach is terrible for dogs. Absolutely. K Bully's great live. Number love, man. Give me a share. Give me a like. Before I forget, let me show you guys something. This is super cool. And that is if you go to our homepage on YouTube, our YouTube channels, Keep Me in Kennel. You go to our homepage, you go to the search field, you can type whatever and it'll show you the videos where I'm talking about whatever it is that you're looking for. Check it out. Yeah, so check it out. I'm going to go ahead and type best dog food, right? Again, this is just a little video I made. So once you type it, it starts bringing in all the videos, not just that have the title of best dog food, but that I speak of the best dog food within the video, right? And again, that's just to give you an example of what you can search. I felt it's super cool because there's no even need to index. It's all there. You just type what you're looking for. If it's in the middle of the night and your female's giving birth and you're in a rush and you can't find it, go to the search field, put, female dog in labor, and it's going to give you the video. Check it out. See what's there. You're going to learn a lot out of a little 8-minute video because I'm there birthing my dogs live and showing you what it is that we do to revive puppies and everything else. So take advantage of that. I'm gonna translate Yamid DC. Voy a traducir. I'm gonna translate. The temperament of an XL is the temperament of an XL similar to that of a standard? I would say yes. I would say temperament. It's very similar. Also, depending the influences you have, but somewhat very, very similar. I ask because there's a lot of people that think that in the future, I guess the XLs are going to be a different breed to that of the standards. Hi from Colombia. Bueno, hay que ver. Hay que ver si se van a convertir en razas diferentes. Yo lo dudo. I doubt that they're going to be different breeds. But then again, anything could happen, guys. We just got to sit and wait. Maurice Humble says, what does balsamic vinegar do in the puppy mush? Man, you guys are just firing away. Well, we know that vinegar resets the dog's pH, particularly in the skin if you bathe them with it as well. It also helps because it's an antibacterial. It's just there. It's another component that is coming into the mush. I'll be honest with you. I've moved away from using balsamic vinegar in the puppy mush. I have moved away from it. But I know the video that you're talking about. Jay Gutter says, fire. That's a beautiful boy. He's talking, I guess he's talking about, yeah, I mean, he's talking about this cat right here, Shamrock. Definitely good looking boy. Let's see. Purple ice litter is going to be fire. Yeah, man. I promise you guys on Sunday, I'm going to have the purple ice litter banner here. Right now, these are the banners I currently have. These are the banners I currently have. And you know full well, this is my Irish Spring litter, right? It was just in Ireland this past summer, man. Who was gonna predict I was gonna use Shamrock back then? Irish Spring litter. As you can see, Shamrock will be going into our female Mocha. And then also we have Shamrock Island litter, where Shamrock will be going into our female Cadabra. And I promise you on Sunday, we'll have the purple ice litter up there. We're really excited about it. In fact, if I could find this picture before we get off today, I'll definitely want to show it. We're really excited for that as well. Raya says, you had just posted the purple ice litter on IG the other day. Yeah, I did, man. But here's the thing. I went out and I've done about 8 different photo shoots. Every time I do a photo shoot is easily 1,200 to 1,500 pictures. So, yeah. So, you know, now wherever that picture was, there's 9,000, 10,000 pictures ahead of it right now. So it's kind of difficult for me to find. Reyes says, that's what he's talking about. Okay. Selective breeding. I love it. Hey, you got to. That's what this is, right? That's what breeding is. It's selective. Breed to the standard, says Adam Fields. I believe last time I saw live, you had a pocket bully that you will be breeding to an XL. What qualities does she have that you feel she would be good with an XL with two classes apart? Well, I just made reference. You might have dropped this comment way before, and I've already commented on it. I'm thinking that Fireball, my classic, is the one that's going to go into her because my XLs are just too big. It's too much of a size difference. So there's your answer. Let's see. Scott Henkelman says Javelin Service Dogs for Heroes is the first responders veterans group in my area that helps veterans getting service dogs and with training. Definitely, bro. I'll be getting in contact with them. I definitely want to head in that direction. I want to help my vets out, man. Kahiki Sakata say, "Yo, what's up with the cussing? Get that out of here, man. Who's cussing?" Oh, okay. I got you. Hold on a second. There you go. Yeah, he's banned. So that's not going to happen again. Daniel Raddat says, for the Nuvet, is it the DS or the regular dose? Does it matter on the weight or the age? Here's the thing, man. Nuvet DS, NuJoint, you got to give based on weight. The reason I recommend DS is because Nuvet itself, the green bottle, right, is a 90-day supply. But if you get NuJoint, you might find yourself running out before the 90 days are done. In fact, somewhere around halfway. So in order for that not to happen, I recommend DS. I also recommend that you do auto ship. You're going to get 13% off, guys. And then you ain't even got to worry about it. You already got a 90-day supply. So you set it for every 3 months and it'll come in automatically. All right. That's simple. Scott says, I know they don't have their stuff together. I went through hell last year after my last service dog died last year. It was not an easy process to deal with. And the VA here was really slow about it. Yeah, man, that's my point. I hate to say it because it sounds like I'm taking a shot at the VA, but they don't always got their stuff together, man. Just keeping it real. Adam Fields, Embark is at the most 150. Yeah, make sure to get the breeder's Embark. Raw is the way. You know it, man. Will Embark show pups' parents if they were also embarked? Huh. No. Embark is not a pedigree service. Embark is just genetics. It's just going to tell you what's there. Where's Kyle and Steven? Adam Fields. Adam, you asking the wrong questions today, man. Because my guy Kyle, he had a bit of a headache, man, and I told him to take the night off. So that's why you're not seeing him up in here today, man. Kahiki says, Adam Fields, I'm down for Embark. My only problem with them is that they took 2.5 months to send over my results. So typically that type of timeline was happening about early last year. I could tell you for the better part from then till now, they're usually getting the results in at about 10 weeks, roughly. This time around, they kind of dropped the ball with me for about 2 weeks. No big deal. But yeah, it's usually taking about 10 weeks. You got it. Yeah, everybody. Kyle, where you at, man? I know you watching, Kyle. I know you watching, bro. Brayman Bull Bully says, not trying to do natural. The reason I asked the flagging question is more of how long should I keep her separated on heats. I want to skip. Bruh. Just, if she's flagging, honestly, the way it usually works is you're going to see the cooter swell up, right? We're going to empirical breeding, which is precisely what I tell you not to do. But normally the cooter is going to swell up. Usually they're not ready. Usually what ends up happening is once the bleeding stops and you get that straw color, that cooter is going to shrivel up one day, like half its size. When that happens, that's usually when they're ready, empirically speaking. So maybe for a couple of days to maybe even a week after that, make sure she's separated, then you should be fine. Maverick Wolves, if you go blue tri to blue tri, will you only get blue tri puppies? Maverick Wolves, it almost sounds like you need to do a consult with me. That's what it sounds like. Adam Field says they do take their time, okay? Have you ever had to use a surrogate mother for any breeding? Absolutely. I used my girl Aruba, and I showed you guys. I mean, I do shorts all the time. I show you. This girl right here was a surrogate mother because her granddaughter, Callie, Power's daughter, passed away due to an autoimmune pathology that came up after she had a C-section. Unfortunately, her body recognized her own blood as an invader, and it ended up breaking down her red blood cells, man, which really sucked for me. Broke my heart. Callie was an amazing girl, and just broke me. Pretty much broke me. Anna Fields, JoJo is the same way. Infamous, what advice would you give for the first week of whelping? I'm sure you probably have videos, but still catching up. Yeah, Infamous, I mean, you're asking such a broad question. More likely than not, best thing to do is watch videos. But if you identify a puppy as being smaller as the rest of the litter, make sure that you're getting up every 2 hours and they're being fed, especially for that first week. Puppies usually double in weight in the first week. So if you have a puppy that's not doubling in weight that first week, that's reason for concern. If you were a little bit more precise, I could answer, but your question is just so broad. Adam, on the app, search QBNK, insert field here. What? On the app, search QBNK. No, not on the app. I'm saying on our homepage here on YouTube. You go to search and you type whatever you're looking for. and it's going to find it for you. Some great info. Thanks for sharing. You got it. Jose Rios, deberías de hacer un libro con recetas de comida. You should make a book with food recipes. Jose, tengo muchos videos con recetas. Mejor que el libro, ¿no? Porque son videos. I'm letting them know we have plenty of recipes, video recipes that are better than books. Martin Hernandez, apples and oranges. All right. Let me see. Drippy65, what breeding are you mostly excited about? The purple ice or the shamrock? All of them, bro. They all have a purpose for my yard. So I'm excited about all of them. I'm very, I when it comes to breeding and when I do the pundit squares and all that, and I suggest this for you guys too, is I'm very pessimistic, and I do this on purpose. I've been optimistic in the past, and when things don't come out the way you want them to, then you're let down. However, if you run your pundit square and you look at the pessimistic numbers rather than the optimistic ones, then you can only be pleasantly surprised. You can't be let down. Let me just leave it like that. Talking about embark testing, Raul, what results or certain things you could consider dog being sick or non-breedable? Bro, anything with sick kidneys, neurological issues, like why would you want to breed that? Anything that is not CRD4, low ALT, CRD4, low ALT, now MCT, those are now going to be popping up on all American bullies because we have the flag for it. But luckily for us, even though we're flagged for it, or we're showing that we're carrying it, the beauty of it is we have a composite breed. Therefore, those polychains, genetic polychains that could be thousands to millions long, they're getting chopped when you breed a pit with a staffy, and then you bring a bulldog in. Oh, we're going to chop that too, and so it doesn't affect our breeds. So those things don't. But if I was to see something, I don't know, man, liver, kidneys, any vital organ and neurological that are being affected, yeah, you don't want to go that route. Just a tip, spoke to Dave at the ABKC just recently, and they will not register an American Bulldog cross to a bully as a bully or an F1, but the ABA allows it, but ABKC have not for many years now. Well, tip for just TJTT, how's that? I appreciate you bringing that up and stating it. Dave, if you're watching, I'm glad to see that you're doing this and that the ABKC is actually stepping up and not allowing this, because we do have a lot of breeders out here that they hear the stud books are still open and they want to do their own thing. And Sarata says Embark shows relatives on pure breed, on the pure breed one, but not on the breeders one. Okay. Maybe that's why I don't see it, because I only do Embark for breeders. Marley, don't you have to give a specific amount based on weight with the DS? Yes, with both the DS and NuJoint. Irregardless, it's weight based. The only reason I recommend the DS is so you have to give less wafers so it can match the 90-day supply for the green bottle, which is Nuvet Plus. Let me bring it up here and let me show you. My bad, guys. This is QBN app commercial. Let me just show it to you. You can see our dogs. You can see pedigree. You can see genetic testing on every single one of our dogs. You could order Nuvet directly from the app. It will take you straight to there, and our code will be automatically registered for you. Just in case you need it, it's 513237. If you need a consult, you could also do it through there. And like I just said, if you do need a code, because you can't buy this stuff in stores and you need a code to buy it, our code is right here, 513237. In fact, let me leave it up here. All right, let me go to the questions, man. When do you do your consults for the mentorship? We pretty much communicate back and forth whenever it's convenient for you and convenient for me, and we sit down and we make it happen. If you become a mentorship level, you're going to get one free consult a month. In addition to that, anything that pops up, we can communicate via text. Whatever, however and whatever I need to do to support you, that's what's going to happen. G-Line says, thanks for getting me through the last hour of my shift. Thanks, bro. Good stuff, man. I'm glad I was able to do that for you. But yeah, man, here, I might as well bring this up so you guys can see it. If you have questions, we have answers. These are the mentorship levels right here. If you come down to mentorship level, you're going to get a 20-minute one-on-one consult live. So if you want to show me puppies, if you want me to grade your pups, grade your litter, whatever. If you need immediate help, our consults start at $100, 20 minutes, one-on-one. Download QBN app and set up your consult today. That's for non-members. That's what they got to pay. If you're a non-member, I hate it for you. And if you think you're slick and you're going to go become a mentorship level immediately, so I don't charge you the $100. Yeah, that's not the way that works either. So KS Kramer says, I have a female off Shamrock Sun from SSK. What can I expect when I breed her? I don't know, KS. I haven't even seen your female. I haven't seen her embark. I don't know what her koi is. I'm not a soothsayer. I need to see her in front of me. I need to see what the koi is. I need to see the male you're bringing. What if her koi is low and the male you're bringing, his koi is high, or vice versa? If hers is high and his is low, then those variables will definitely adjust my answer. So I need to see that to be able to answer you. Tip says stud book being open is referring to standard of pocket explanation. It's why he still registers the exotics, just non-show category. AKC kept the staff open for 70 years. I guess the stud book's open for 70 years. We only like 20. Yeah, but you also got to realize in those 70 years that the AKC had the stud books open, there was no internet, right? We're living in a different age, guys. We're living in a different world right now. Right now, we're all talking dogs and we're trying to improve the breed. But make no mistake about it, there's people watching this right now that are just thinking about making money and what they can do to make a dog that stands out more. Let's go ahead and breed it with a bulldog. And, no matter if the eyes come in, I've been seeing some of those running around. Who cares? We're in it for the money. And we know, we all know who they are whenever you see them online. They're not talking about improving the breed or none of that. And the only time they post is whenever they have a litter and they're trying to sell something, right? So you got to keep it real. We definitely are living in a different time where communication it travels at the speed of light. And so, I am not Dave Wilson and I'm not the ABKC, but I'm just a breeder within this breed. And I would like to see the stud books closed. I would. And let us work with what we got. This is already a composite breed. Like, why are the stud books still open? That's just me, man. How much is the mentorship? Actually, G-Line, I just found this out. I didn't know this, that the prices change state to state. This is something YouTube does. I'm not doing that. But I can tell you, expect no more than, I want to say, $39. And in fact, let me find the, here it is. Yeah, our mentorship level is no more than $39.99 a month, and it tells you what you get. So if you're interested, by all means, G Line, go ahead and just upgrade to it. And then once you've upgraded your mentorship, then you need to text me with a picture of your mentorship, and then we'll set up an appointment and we'll do the one-on-one whenever you're ready. Coach Karen says evening. Okay. I was a horse breeder, so it's extremely interesting to listen about dogs. Well, if you were a horse breeder, I will say this because I've had conversation with snake breeders and parrot breeders and fish breeders. When you break everything down, it comes down to genetics, right? In order to be able to produce what you're looking for. However, things could become more or even less intricate depending on the amount of chromosomes that we're dealing with. Dogs nearly double humans in the amount of chromosomes they have. Therefore, it just makes it, I want to say, that much harder to get precisely what you want, but at the same time, you get so much more of variety that you would with humans because of the increase in chromosomes. Just a tip says that's a fact. You're right. We have a super highway, and I've been able to breed much faster than the Staffy Terrier. Yeah, man. Yeah. No, you can't compare the American Bully today with open stud books to AKC 70 years open. It's just two different animals. Bully Talk Live at a Q. You know it, bro. DTW painting. Number love, man. Just a tip, the stud book is closed because the breedings are only supposed to be between American Bully types. Otherwise, stock book being enclosed, only pocket, only standard. The problem being is the other registries still having wide open stud books like the ABA, still encouraging mixed breeding. So let me ask you this. Do you think the stud books are open in these other registries because it's a money move? I think so. I do. I think, like, for example, I was recently asked, like, what do you think about the UKC? I think the UKC is full of it. I really do. And when it comes to our breed, my apologies. I don't want to insult on the other breeds. But when it comes to our breeds, they really don't give a crap about us, right? They don't update the standards. You see a lot more pit bull type dogs or dogs with more pit bull like qualities or attributes winning over in the UKC than, say, what you're seeing being won in the ABKC. ABKC has these updated standards, whereas the UKC standards are like left field somewhere in comparison, right? So I kind of feel like the UKC really doesn't care about our breed as much because they have all these other breeds that are under them that are making income for them. So why would you, there's not one breed that's going to make you stand on your head, if you will. That's just what I think, right? That's just what I think. Because like pinchers, you can't breed a miniature pincher to a regular pincher because the stud books are closed. I would love to see that, but right now it's being allowed. It just is. Are Dooley and Shamrock registered UKC as well as ABKC? That's an excellent question, and I'm sure I spoke about it. I just don't remember off the top of my head. I don't remember. You're gonna have to ask Fred Duran, Dooley's owner, and you're gonna have to ask. And I freak, man. I had his name on the tip of my head, my tongue. Shamrock's owner. You're just gonna have to ask him directly, and they're gonna be able to answer you. My apologies. I've had these conversations. You can imagine the type of conversations I've had with them when we've spoken for hours or texted for hours. I just don't remember right now. That I agree. I've seen it for myself. Kahiki says, Raul, it was nice to be back on the live feed. Catch you on the next. Number love, man. Kahiki all the way from Hawaii. There, man. Number love. ABA, ABRA, and so on. And yes, it is money. It's a money move, man. And can you really? So here's the deal. If you're a brand new, and I know the ABA is not brand new, but there are some new registries out there, and they need to survive. And this is a business, guys. Now, I've spoken about it in the past. When it comes to breeding, you have three components, right? You have three components. You have the breeders, you have the registry, and you have the market, right? And the way it's supposed to work is the breeder is under the registry. The registry is going to set the standard, right? And the breeder's going to breed to that standard, right? When you're a brand spanking new registry, you might not be able to do that because you will go flat broke. It's just a fact of life, guys. And so is it right? Is it ideal? No. And I've sat here and I've spoken about it, but it's also the reality of it is that it's a business. And so you want to let lottie-dottie everybody through that door, as many as you can, so they could come to your shows, so they could register through your registry, so you could have enough money to keep this thing going, right? Because what good is it to have a registry that is strict and bankrupt and they got to close their doors? It's not that good, is it? Right? So I'm just keeping it real with you. And Saralta says, but UKC updated the standards and pretty much closed the books. Okay. I haven't checked their standards recently. I'm talking about, I guess, from before. They must have just changed their standards within the last 6 months, 8 months. Can somebody update me on that? Coach Karen says, it's the market of high value stud, but they can get oversaturated. And exactly what you're saying, they don't look at valuable prospects. I hope that made sense. I talk in cursive sometimes. No, it makes perfect sense to me. I will tell you guys, not always do I go to a grand champion like Shamrock to breed. There has been times that I've gone after an up and coming stud because he's had certain traits that I'm looking for. And if the Koi's right and the embark is right, and I see what I like, I might just make that decision, right? So, and I only say that because Coach Karen is talking about they don't look at valuable prospects, and that's where a lot of you miss it. Yes, said 1026 Touche Lassiter. I believe it's the Shamrock's owner. Yes, absolutely, Mr. Lassiter. Yeah, man, super cool dude, man. I spoke with him. Super cool guy. He's an older guy just like me, and I'm excited. I'm excited to use this dog, man. James Holt says, how do you feel about the UKC single registration? It doesn't have to even be UKC. It could be ABKC. If you're single registering, what it means is you have a dog that doesn't have papers and you single register. So you either bought them as pet quality and now you're trying to scam the owner and trying to make papers, or you simply bought it from a backyard breeder that didn't produce papers. However you want to put it, whenever you see single registration, bells and whistles are about to go off. My German Shepherd was trying to have pups, but she lost it. She had one dead. It had been dead for a month, was deformed. What caused that? Took to the vet, they did a C-section. Well, sometimes when you use a stud that's too big, you may have that situation. This is why I always recommend that you do a C-section an X-ray. My apologies, an X-ray no later than day 57. So the vet can see if the puppy's head can make it through the canal. If it cannot, then they would recommend a C-section. Maybe that puppy would have never died and you still had to do a C-section anyways, right? By the way, infamous, man, unbeloved, man, appreciate you, man. Pues claro que sí, cabrón. We do this every Sunday at 10 a.m. and now we're starting to do this every Thursday at 8 p.m., man. Central Standard. I'm here in Texas, guys. I'm not in New York and I'm not in Cali. So I'm like right smack in the middle. James Holt, how do you feel about just answered that. My bad. Rhonda says, we answered that. I feel the ABKC stud book is still open, or we would lose type standard to standard too many times, need to outbreed to a classic or a pocket eventually is the appearance science of it. Yes, I agree. If you start stopping from being able to go to the standard class, then the American Bully XL is going to be left alone in an island by itself. How are you going to be able to get that breed standard that you're drawing up? Emilio Garcia, your new breedings are fire. I'm excited to see what they produce. Thank you, Emilio. I'm very excited as well, man. Inserata says UKC stopped single registration and updated standards to include drawings in January. Right. So it had to be recent and made underbite, etc. for ring as a DQ. Good. Which did they, Inserata, tell me something. Did they upgrade, not upgrade, but when they came out with this new standard, do they have different classes or is it all lumped under one class like it was before? Let me know. Naomi Doze in the house. Good evening, Bully fam. Welcome on board. Infamous says, I need to figure out the time zone because my alarm was an hour off. No, actually, I came in an hour early, man. I did. I saw a bunch of people up in here, and I just said to myself, hey, you know what, man? Let me just jump in, and 8 o'clock came up, and people have joined and whatnot, and we're still talking. Drippy65 says, I'm thinking about the Shamrock letter, bro. I guess litter. Yeah, man. You might want to download QBN app. We have limited space. We do have I believe in one of the litters, we have a second pick male available. You might want to look into that, or a third pick male as well. I can tell you female picks are very hard to come by. But, for the reason that life happens, people do back out. Every time I have a litter that, been sold out for forever, usually right before week number 10, somebody's either getting divorced or being deployed, or just life happens, man. And we comprehend that. Let me see here. Oh, my bad, Naomi. Douse, like house. My bad. I was trying to get the pronunciation right and I wronged it, so my apologies for that. Inserata says they have different classes: Pocket, Standard, XL for registration now, but they show together in the ring. Interesting. I got to see the drawing for XL because I feel that the ABKC, for example, the drawing that they have for XL, let's just say it's this one, just for an example. I think it's unrealistic right now. How many XLs do you see running around looking like this? However, I understand why they did it. They did it because that's the goal that we're going to shoot at, right? And I like it. And that's why you're seeing a dog like this coming into a female like this, right? She's gonna bring in size. He's gonna bring in breed type. That's what we're aiming for. There's no ifs and it's or buts about it. No hiccups. We're not we're gonna bring it like that. And that's why we're also doing it for 3 different females at the same time. Make no mistakes about it. When those pups grow, don't rule out half brother, half sister breedings, and or if not, bringing it back to my yard and then bringing it back to that half brother, half sister as well. So, yeah, that's I felt at first when I saw the picture that was put up by the ABKC, that it was unrealistic. But with that being said, I understand why they did it, because they want us to aim there. And if you're a reputable breeder, or if that's where you want to head, you should be aiming there, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. ABKC also single registers a dog with pedigree. Any incomplete paperwork will be returned with the service charge. Okay. Coach Karen says she is my fave. She looks like my girl, so I'm probably biased. Oh, you're talking about my girl Cadabra. Let me bring her up again. Where you at? Cadabra? Here she is. Yeah, Cadabra is our alpha female. Cadabra is she definitely runs the yard. She's also in full-blown heat, by the way. I let her out with the dogs today. She was I could tell she was a little irritable. She was giving me them big eyes. You know, she looks at me for everything. I pick up on my dogs through a lot of their body language, right? And whenever she's looking at me like this, something's bothering her. So I immediately put her in, let the other dogs out. Once I was done with them, put them up, bring her out, let her out with me. She was fine. She went back there, ate grass, ran, did whatever. You know, it's really important that you know your dogs, guys. A lot of times people make mistakes, particularly when you have a female going in heat. People think that the males are the ones you got to worry about. And yes, you do. You also got to worry about the other females because she's either going to be irritated and she might snap at any one of them, or if she triggers the other ones to also be in heat, you got 4 females in heat, man. That's like having 4 women at the same time that are, you know, having that time of the month, and their hormones make them irritable. So, you know, you're begging for trouble. So it's really important that you keep an eye on things like that, man. What's up, David 33R? What's up, man? I've been had the app, bro. All right. Good deal. Okay. Yeah, Coach Karen, she likes Cadabra. All right. Cadabra fans. All right. Where you at? W Bully says, first time checking in. What's up, QBN family? Nothing but love for you, man. Thanks for being a member, for supporting us, and for tuning in, man. Thursday, AP. We're talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. Just drop a question. We're going to make sure we answer it. Drippy65 says, on top of that, already laughing out loud. I think it's just the English language. When someone reads single dog registration, they think it's a loophole. But it's just when you're registering your single dog that you got from a legitimate source. Not necessarily, bro. I'm just saying. If you didn't get a dog from a legitimate source and you want to register it, for example, in the ABKC, you're going to have to single register. So I wouldn't say that I'm 100% on board with that comment. I see where you're coming from. Though. Coach Karen says she friggin' loves her. Oh, man, I love her, too. I love her to death. I can tell you right now, Cadabra is one of those dogs that's never going to leave my yard. She's going to retire here. She ain't going nowhere. Sulema Santiago, I received Nuvet NuJoint today. Very well packed. Sulema Santiago. First of all, I congratulate you. But do me a favor. Make sure to take a before picture. Give it about 10, 15 days. Take an after picture. Send it to me. I'm going to go ahead and post it up. Okay. Last year, check it out. It's what Nuvet does. It's why it's so exciting. You have a dog on the left that's knuckling over. Same dog, literally 18 days later, no knuckling over. Right? Check it out. Dog on the right, you can see slight knuckling over. Look at it on the left, slight knuckling over. Look at it on the right. Check it out. Look at the east-west on the left, and look what it did to it on the right. Look at the front on the left. Look at it on the right. 18 days later. It's not magic. It's not magic. A lot of you are like, oh my God. Oh, no. If you don't listen, you don't understand what's happening. What's happening is kibble is getting cooked at high degrees. A lot of proteins get denatured, minerals degenerated, blah, blah, blah. Vitamins may look one way going in, may be different coming out. So if your dog has dietary insufficiency, in fact, I like referring to that as dietary east-west. This right here is giving your dog what it really needs. More importantly, it is processed the way it needs to be processed so your dog gets optimum health first and foremost. And then if it's having some sort of orthopedic issue because of dietary insufficiency, that's where this comes in, right? Because this is cold pressed and it's made to human grade. Also, you cannot buy this in stores. You're going to need our code 513237 to be able to order. Do yourself a favor. When you order Nuvet, go ahead and order NuJoint DS double strength. Make sure to put auto ship for every 30 days. You're going to get an additional 13% discount that should cover, if not all, 95% of your shipping. Okay. So just keeping it real with you. This stuff right here is basically giving your dog what it needs. Whereas if you're only relying on that cheap kibble you're feeding, right, your dog's body is going to have to steal from Paul to pay Peter. And that's where you start getting this wonkiness because, tendons, ligaments, and cartilage in the grand scheme of a dog's body are not priority number one. Their organs are, right? Because they need to live first. And therefore, it's gonna take from here to pay over there. And if you do it long enough, you can damage an excellent looking specimen of a dog because of dietary insufficiency. Let's see. Yeah. ABKC holds the right to refuse to register. Man, look, Tip, I'm going to keep it real with you, man. You're saying that you think Dave really caught up his game. Maybe he has. Maybe we've come to that point where he's had to, or he has. I mean, I don't know Dave personally. I don't know what he's doing or not, what's going through his head. I don't. But I will tell you, in my time, I've had people contact me to single register or to register some stuff that I never thought would get registered, only to receive a text, I don't know how long after, saying, hey, look what I got, and, sending me a screenshot. So if he has upped his game, man, more power to it. It would only improve our breed. Infamous says, what's the best way to store semen from a stud that was shipped to you? Thinking about trying that route in the future. Well, you can. Let me rewind here. If it's cool catch, in other words, fresh catch, they catch it straight from the dog, and they're combining it with extender. You're not going to be able to store that. You're not. Because the type of extender that is needed to freeze is something totally different. And once you mix it with regular extender or the extender that we mostly use, I use horse extender. And once you do that, you can't freeze it. You can't freeze it and store it. So there's your answer. Let me answer these questions. There's no option for single registration in the ABKC now without pedigree. Good to hear, man. Coach Karen says mine just gets blooming season allergies, and it's a disaster here in Arizona. Homemade food. Okay, are you cooking it or are you giving it raw? It sounds like you're cooking it. If it's homemade food, you might want to try raw. You'd be surprised. They do so much better. The option will eventually be open once the DNA bank has built up enough DNA to actually process DNA and call it an American Bully. We don't have those numbers yet. I've been asking for that for years. And maybe it's just me being, being highly optimistic. And maybe you're right. Maybe we don't have those numbers. Some people will try and embark their dog and it's an American Bully and it comes back as saying certain percentage pit bull, right? So maybe you're right. I couldn't go against that comment. I think your argument definitely has weight to it. Triple P, wow. Would this benefit my Rottweiler? He's already straight. What other benefits with nicer? I don't know. I don't see where it couldn't benefit your dog. Like I said, first and foremost, health. First and foremost, your dog's getting the vitamins and the minerals that they need. You got to realize, guys, wolves out in the wild, they're not just getting vitamins, they're getting minerals, they're getting bone, they're getting calcium, they're getting phosphorus on a regular basis, manganese on a regular basis, right? Kibble bag ain't, even if it does put it in there, once they cook it, is it still viable? Is it still bioavailable the same way this would be? Don't take it from me. Take it from the people that are actually using this product that come here and comment. The difference is night and day. If it is dietary, if it's genetic, if you went and you You bought a dog with one eye. No, it's not going to grow a second eye for you. It's not going to do that. But it's going to make that one-eye dog as healthy as it can be. That's what it's going to do, right? Let's see, man. When picking your first puppy, what would be the first thing you look at to determine if you would go with that pup? W bullies, there's no such thing as first thing you look at and make a decision right off of there. First thing I may be looking at, say for example, right now, my kennel, we're adding this type of breed type, right? That's what my kennel is bringing in, right? So make no mistake about it. The pups that I'm going to be, first thing I want to be looking at is this type of breed type, because that's where I'm at in my stage, in my journey, right? If you were to rewind me, say 5 years ago, maybe I was looking for, I'm just going to throw anything out there, a bigger head or more conformation in the front, better top line. And then at that point, that's what I was going to be maybe concentrating more on, if that makes any sense. Okay. There's really not one thing. However, there can be one thing that will dissuade me completely from getting a pup. And I've spoken on this. There's two flaws that I personally completely stay away from, and that's stiff stifles and underbite. If I see that, I'm walking the other direction, right? If it's an underbite, it has to be no more than 1 millimeter, right? Because I feel that's correctable. But you know, you have a protruding underbite. You have a dog that looks like it has a drawer coming out from underneath because it's a 2-inch difference from the top jaw. Yeah, I don't want to go that route. That's just my preference. All right. Says, yes, worked for mine. Absolutely, man. That Nuvet stuff. There's a reason why breeders are more and more using it. And the older breeders have been using it. They've kept it hush. Naomi Douse says, I have my XL pups on raw diet. I always add, I guess, diatomaceous earth and sauerkraut to their diet. Is it natural for their stool to come out really light colored in the consistency of the earth, but solid? Yes. Also, the light coloring, I will say, if you're feeding raw, 9 times out of 10 is not the diatomaceous earth itself. It's bone. When I first started feeding raw, I would see, I mean, I hate to talk about it, but you know, I would see the stool, right? And then I would see like a segment of it white, and I was like, what the? And then if you touch it with the tip of my picker upper, it would, you know, if you left it there for a day or so, if they did it on the back, it would be somewhat brittle. And that's where I started doing my research. And yeah, that's just the accumulation of the minerals, of the calcium and the phosphorus. Brahman Bull Bully says, how long is the ship semen good for? Ship semen, 24 hours is the golden standard. Realistically, okay, so let me tell you this. Motility is so important for sperm. If you receive a shipment, say, with 90% motility, man, that's excellent. Where you will run an issue with is the closer you get to 50% motility. I was once told by a vet that 50% or less motility is not going to get your female pregnant. It's just not, right? However, higher motility, even though sperm numbers may not be at an all-time optimum, you might have, say, 500,000 less sperm, but motility is at 90%. That's preferable over excellent sperm numbers, but low motility, if that makes any sense. Peace to the dog lover. Number love, man. Nuvet is amazing by Shade Tree. So pups without is not a choice. I'm not sure what your question is. Coach Karen says, hey, someone could make high dollar if they set up a sperm bank for dogs. They already have. Absolutely, just kidding. I can see doggy support and alimony involved. Actually, Coach Karen, since you come from the horse world, believe it or not, dog sperm dog sperm storage works on the back of the companies that have catered mostly for horses. So it's the same process where it gets frozen in nitrogen, and you could have it in there for up to, I think they've upped it now to 30 years in negative 180 degrees, I believe it is. Negative 180 degrees Fahrenheit. I believe at 80 degrees Fahrenheit, I could be wrong, man. I don't know why 80. It's either 80 or 180. That's when all metabolic processes cease. Also, whenever you freeze sperm, whenever you thaw it again, only half of the sperm is going to be, motile and good to go. The other is just going to be pretty much hibernating. Saludos a Sede. What it do with Big Lou? Number love for this guy right here, guys. If you haven't gone to his channel, make sure to go to his channel. He always has something good to talk about. Big Lou. Number love for you, bro. Thanks for stopping by. I grind my bones, but yes, probably overcooking the meat. Yes, we grind here every day. And we stay away from cooking the meat unless we're dealing with puppies and moms. Got none against feeding raw anymore. I've tried it one time around and it worked well. But I don't know. I feel, and I compared it. I felt that whenever I cooked, it was just better all the way around. Nuvet has really helped my 11-year-old Boston Terrier with age. He's developed East West. Nuvet got my Boston Terrier straightened up. I love Nuvet. I'm definitely a customer for life. Fredia Strevi, number love. Thank you for that comment. Infamous says, how can I test my dog's motility? Simple. Collect them. Take it to your vet. Collect them. Better yet, get yourself a let me see. I have one of them boxes over here. Get yourself one of those Canine Express boxes. They cost you about $50. Have Amazon drop it off at your house. It's going to come with a freeze pack. Put that in the freezer, and then what you do is you collect your dog. Also, buy yourself some extender. Collect your dog. So here's the thing, guys. When you collect your dog, I've heard guys say, oh, he drops 20 mLs. Yeah. Of that 20 ml, you got maybe a total of 1 ml's worth of sperm. Everything else is prostatic fluid. Now, that prostatic fluid serves a purpose. And the purpose it serves is to be able to move the sperm to where it needs to get to with ease, right? Get it to the uterus. However, that same prostatic fluid, after 96 hours, becomes toxic to the sperm. So the same that puts it there, if in 96 hours the sperm didn't get in, it's going to kill it, which is the reason why you spin the sperm and you get something that's called a sperm pellet. It's usually about 1 ml, and you're able to suction that up with a little beaker on a syringe. And then you mix that with extender. Then that's going to make the sperm last a lot longer because it doesn't become toxic to them at 96 hours. All right, big love. What advice would you give a young breeder that's just starting their kennel? Simple. If you're here today, you need to be here on the lives. I suggest you go to our videos. I'm not talking about the recent videos. Go back from the beginning, because you're gonna see what I talk about. And with time, there's certain things that I've changed up on because I've either had a bad experience or something within my experience made me change. I also like to experiment with new things. Like I said in the beginning of the show, life is about being dynamic. If you stay in one place, sooner or later, you're going to get passed by. I know it was just a joke about it. I'm actually an owner of many racehorses, and breeding sometimes it's got to be a little fun. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. For me, breeding is fun. For me, breeding, everything I studied as being a nurse, biology, genetics, everything comes together. Even though I'm not a vet, at least for me, it all comes together. My female only wants to eat cooked chicken, no bones, no skin. She's getting me crazy. Any recommendations? Yes. Do this. Go ahead and cook the whole chicken. Go ahead and get yourself a little manual grinder or electric grinder, grind it all the way through. And then next time you cook chicken, right? And she doesn't want the bone or anything, go ahead and mix it all together. She's not even going to know the difference. I promise you. Gracias for the shout out, bye. You know it, man. Hi, true. You know, bro. Shay Tree, you got it. Coach Karen, you are a wealth of knowledge for sure. Absolutely appreciate you. Likewise. Thank you for stopping by. Ms. Coach Karen, Naomi Douse. Want to make sure I get it right. Guys, keep in mind, if you go down and below in the description, you could become a member of this channel for as little as $5 a month, and you get to get this little thing next to your name, which tells me that you're a member, which means I will not shut down the live until your questions have been answered. Okay, it's acceptable for me to alternate between feeding my pups raw and cooked. I grind everything. This way the bone is also incorporated without being a choking hazard. Absolutely. It actually gets grinded down like fine sand, which is amazing. Oh, I trust your advice over my veterinarian. Oh, my goodness. Sulema, I totally use my KitchenAid grinder. Guys, listen up, man. Today has been a 2-hour live. Nothing but love for you guys for stopping by. And I want to thank you guys for being interactive and showing us much love here on a Thursday. And keep in mind, guys, we're also going live again on Sunday. It's been Raul from the Q, catching you on the next one.